He wawata karongoya he onge ponura.
Happiest day of my life.
Kia ora, New Zealand, you beauty. Yes, we hope you're still smiling as we are here at Twickenham Stadium this morning, a cold and foggy Sunday morning, the venue of yet another famous All Blacks victory. World champions once again, Kiwis heroes on and off the field. Here a young boy wanting to meet the team is tackled by a security guard. Sonny Bill helps him up and in a touching gesture gives the plucky fan his World Cup winners medal. Something to cherish for the rest of his life. Just like this very special performance from a very special team. Joining me, One News World Cup reporter Andrew Saville, and boy, that was some show here last night, wasn't it?
It was, Peter, yes, a great final from a team now being labelled as the greatest ever. And how symbolic is this? From the land of the long white cloud, the fog is rolling in over the top of us here at Twickenham, a lot like the All Black forwards rolled over the top of the Wallabies here last night. It was a match of extreme sporting theatre with a fairy tale finish as well. The game had it all. It had fiery attack, a brick wall defence and also a stunning finish. The dominant force in world rugby for the past 4 years. This was the moment the All Blacks could finally celebrate. And celebrate they did after saving their best performance of the Cup for last.
It's a really happy change room at the moment because we've done it not just for ourselves and our family but for all the Kiwis back home.
Is this the biggest win of your career?
It is. Yeah, it is. It's just something I'm just so proud of.
In a physical encounter right from the kick-off, the two best teams in the world and at the tournament went toe-to-toe.
We spoke about during the week that we had to set the tone early, and those boys did, you know.
Deft handling broke the arm wrestle, rookie Nehi Milner-Skudder scoring for a 16-3 half-time lead. But the Wallabies narrowed the gap to 4 with 15 to play after Ben Smith was sin-binned. Cue a Dan Carter special to settle the nerves. What a building!
Fortunately enough, it went through the post and gave us a little bit of breathing space, which is a crucial part of the match.
Before a Bowden Barrett breakout sealed the Cup win.
Oh, I'm very proud, happy, but you know, we came here to do the job, and every man and woman in this squad, management included, did their piece, and every night it was awesome.
I remember after the last one, Andrew Hoare, when he was sitting there with a beer, looked at a few of the young boys and said, "You guys don't know what you've done," and you know, to do it again, it's just amazing.
Doing it for the 6 All Blacks playing their last game.
To their credit, they did want it to be about them as well, so that tells a lot about those blokes, and you know, that for me was definitely on my mind to kind of motivation for me to perform tonight.
We'll really enjoy this moment and enjoy the next couple of months, but you know, it's great for those guys to send them off in the right way.
For Steve Hansen, for Richie McCaw, Bedlam outside Twickenham as we speak. Celebrations will go on long and hearty through the night for all Kiwi fans and also the All Blacks. Talk will now inevitably turn to even higher honours.
I've had a lot of text messages from New Zealand listing a whole lot of knighthoods that could be dispatched, but anyway, well, let's wait and see.
The players clearly have other priorities.
Get to see my lovely wife and cuddle my lovely daughter, so I can't wait.
It could be some time yet before their history-making deeds sink in.
Yes, it was an outstanding All Blacks performance, but I wonder, Andrew, whether or not the gruelling schedule that Australia's had to undertake these last few weeks may have finally caught up with them in the final.
Well, Pete, they had 4 or 5 games that were pretty much knockout in themselves, all here at Twickenham. But I think on that performance last night from the All Blacks earlier today, New Zealand time, I don't think any team in the world would have beaten them in that final. From the very first few tackles, you could tell the All Blacks were pretty much going to win this game with a lot of intent. I think Ben Smith's yellow card, if that hadn't occurred, the Australians might not have scored any tries at all. So I think all through the match, you got the feeling the All Blacks were always going to end up victorious. Great performance.
All right, Andrew Saville, thank you for now. We'll have much more from you later. Also standing out today, dazzling displays from those veterans saying goodbye to the black jersey. Heroic performances, a fitting farewell and a fairy tale ending. A performance to match any of his previous 111 tests. Daniel Carter in supreme form and finally savouring a win in a World Cup final.
To be standing here, and there are plenty of times where I thought that I wouldn't be here, so to do what we've done tonight, it's just it's hard to explain. I'm just so happy right now.
As in the semi-final, a dropped goal was a key moment, easing the All Blacks away from a precarious position.
And he struck that sweetly.
But if Carter is now hot favourite to win World Player of the Year yet again, what about his longtime colleague Richie McCaw, the first man ever to raise the Webb Ellis Trophy twice?
Oh, I'm very proud, happy.
And he still won't say if he's playing again or not.
I'm just so proud of being able to wear this jersey again today, and I don't think you ever have enough of it.
Other heroes too. Ma'anonu with the try that broke the match wide open.
Go boy! He should do it! He does do it!
Take home the memories in terms of who I played with. Probably won't play with those guys again, so it's something I'll cherish forever.
And let's not forget another couple of veterans. Kevin Mialamu, there at the end, at age 36, and Conrad Smith, a major contributor in the first half. 5 rugby legends, their All Black careers ending with the sweetest triumph of all. And how sweet is this? As we've shown you, an act of kindness from Sonny Bill Williams that surely made one young boy the happiest All Blacks fan in the world. Andrew Morrison has more.
In a desperate dash to get a piece of the All Blacks, Charlie Lyons got more than he bargained for.
I felt really sorry for him, that was your younger brother. Or younger cousin would probably give the security guard a hiding or something,
Sonny Bill Williams stepping in to let the young fans share in the celebrations. Liam Messam gave his beanie, but the best was yet to come.
So I just picked the kid up and took him back to his old lady and I guess try to make the night more memorable for him.
And how could he ever forget this golden moment?
I was pretty happy after that, bro.
You were pretty happy after
that?
Yeah,
it was pretty happy.
Little Kiwi boy, or?
Yeah, he's a little Kiwi fella, yeah.
Sure, Williams has collected plenty of medals in his cross-code career, but this act of generosity has captured hearts around the globe.
Better hanging around his neck than on my walls at home, I guess.
Williams' code hoppings earned him critics, but the 30-year-old's compassion's changing minds. Last week, consoling a South African player. His attention now back home.
Getting back on, early next week and get to see my lovely wife and cuddle my lovely daughter, so I can't wait.
Williams played a starring role in his second World Cup, but this time he'll also be remembered for his class off the field. Andrew Morrison, One News.
Well, from inside to outside the stadium here, thousands of jubilant Kiwi fans streamed out after the game, full of cheer and camaraderie. Our Europe correspondent Emma Keeling was right here to greet them, and of course, a few Aussies as well.
Twickenham, the home of New Zealand rugby, bursting with Kiwi joy, pride and a lot of love for the All Black captain.
What just happened? Oh, that's right, we won.
With no cup to hold aloft, the Australians were the first to leave.
4 more years?
4 more years,
It's always Japan.
And the better team deserved to win on the day, but it was nice to see Australia score some tries.
Second in the world, you can't complain.
But no, most importantly, we beat England.
Well, it's about 10, 15 minutes after the game, and look, all we've got is Australians and Englishmen pouring out. Ah, Australian! I guess all the Kiwis are inside celebrating this amazing World Cup win by the All Blacks. Bye, guys.
Although the All Blacks dominated, it was a nervous second half.
Never have thought there was only 4 in it with less than 20 to go. No nerves throughout that at all?
Oh, nerves the whole time, especially when they got right down close. That was really nervous, yeah.
On the whole, the Aussies took the loss well.
The cup is coming home back to New Zealand!
Yes! And the man of the match?
Dan Carter, mate, he was amazing.
Oh, Dan Carter, he's the man.
Dan Carter.
Dan Carter was the best. Yeah.
Well, he did some amazing kicks.
Yeah.
The crowd came out unable to stop celebrating. It's not every day you defend a World Cup title.
Keep it calm, legend!
Yeah! You've been to every single match?
Yeah.
Wow! And that is probably your favourite.
And my children are now eating rice and water, but we're fine.
4 more years of partying. Emma Keeling, One News, Twickenham.
Well, that's it from me here in London for now. As the new day dawns, I'll be back with more later in the bulletin. Back to you, Bernie.
Thanks, Peter. We'll catch you soon. Well, as the evening rolls in for us here, celebrations continue right across the country. How good is it, New Zealand? You can see and feel it everywhere, a collective sense of pride and satisfaction. We go live to Ruthven Williams for reaction in Sydney shortly, and Chris Chang standing by in Auckland. First, he tells us how the drama unfolded for a rugby-mad nation.
At the old stomping ground of one of our greatest ever All Blacks. In the living room with a future rugby star. At the retirement village with, at times, shredded nerves.
I was very, very proud of the boys. They played absolutely brilliantly.
Wherever we were today, we were all black.
Best morning of my life.
The core, Carter Smith, the big five, they all stood up. What more do you want, mate?
You look a bit emotional.
Oh, God, I get moved. It's so fantastic. Isn't it amazing?
We're world champions.
We are.
Again.
Again.
In the bars, on the farm. This morning, New Zealand didn't miss a beat. You concerned about missing the second half?
No, we're going to watch it on air.
Sky go.
That is awesome. That is such a good win.
Key moment in the game?
Key moment. I think the drop goal sealed it. That was game after that. I mean, he's going right, he's going left. He just kicks it with his left foot. Genius. Dan Carter, legendary All Black. You're the man, Dan.
I knew as soon as he struck it that I was going over, man.
All Blacks. What a win.
We toasted Southbridge's favourite son.
Where'd he go? Oh, I'm still shaking from the whole game. It's incredible.
And savoured the taste of victory.
4 more years in Australia! 4 more years! Woo!
Kiwi!
I can't think of anyone who deserves it any more than he does, and the rest of the boys as well.
Is he a man of the match?
I'd say he's the man of rugby. Just period.
A morning of pure joy, this rugby-mad nation getting ready to welcome the Webb Ellis Trophy home.
Oh yes, and Chris joins us live from Auckland's Ponsonby Road. Now, with all this talk and all this joy, any welcome back parades on the cards yet?
Well, Bernie, before any talk of parades, there's still a small matter of some partying to get through. As you can see, there's still plenty of people out on Ponsonby Road tonight, lapping it up. They're still going 11 hours after the final whistle. We are expecting there to be some victory celebrations of sorts when the All Blacks come back on Wednesday this week from the UK. It's probably going to be similar to what we saw in 2011 when they took that coveted Webb Ellis Trophy around a few different cities. We are going to get confirmation of those plans tomorrow. Bernie.
We look forward to that. Thanks, Chris Chang in Auckland. And there's also celebrations across the ditch for Kiwis at least, who are highly outnumbered by the Aussie Army. Our Australia correspondent Ruthven Williams has been across the action and joins us now. Ruth.
Bernie, the suburban pub may not have quite the same reputation as Twickenham, but 17,000 kilometres from where the action was, the competition here was equally as fierce. But even that famous Australian confidence couldn't compete with, as one newspaper put it, New Zealand's black magic. Forget Twickenham for now. The battle lines for this final stretch all the way down under.
It's been pretty tough being in this pub tonight.
This is enemy territory, where brave New Zealanders stand up against an army of green and gold. Are Kiwis and Australians still friends?
Not tonight.
In the small hours of the morning, the challenge played out in the most Australian of places, suburban pubs, turning mate against mate.
It's on the rocks. For 1 week, I will not speak to
Mate, don't be like that.
Is your mateship on the line here, Guy?
Far out, absolutely. The referee's on the line here. The referee's on your side, man.
Let's face it, Australia, at half-time, you were already sounding the alarm.
A lot of people are finding their heritage.
And when that final whistle blew, most had come to realise that All Black is all right.
New Zealand! Go New Zealand!
You're hugging.
We are. Deep down inside, you know.
I'm absolutely gutted.
It's all done and dusted, but spare a thought for Australia. It was the 90s when our old mates last claimed the cup. 4 more years, you reckon?
Yeah, 4 more years. We'll be back. We'll be back without a doubt.
Funnily enough, there has been some criticism here today of the performance of the referee. Some people do feel that Australia was hard done by, but, and this may surprise you, there has also been a fair amount of admiration for the performance of the All Blacks. In fact, nobody I spoke to this morning had a bad word to say about their performance. There is still a bit of fun to come here over the next week or so, though. Expect Malcolm Turnbull to turn up in Parliament following through on that wager with John Key, wearing a tie in New Zealand's national colours, and the national carrier here too has a bet to make good on Qantas staff will be wearing black to work tomorrow.
We could get used to that. Thanks for that, Ruthwyn Williams in Sydney.
Welcome back to Twickenham. The scene today, arguably, of the All Blacks' greatest ever win. Their historic defence, their record-making 3rd World Cup, an entertaining and memorable conclusion to the Test careers of some of the greatest names in the game. For those watching here and at home, confidence, exhilaration, then anxious moments before the boys put the result beyond doubt. And in the end, wild celebrations. Pride and joy turning to immense satisfaction. And around the world, fans of the boys in black have been celebrating too, coming together online to share in the glory. Matt McLean takes a look at the response to this morning's win.
Get Bodie! He's got more pace! Pick it up, Bodie!
We found him on YouTube. Kristen Pugh was not hiding his emotions, and nor should he have to.
Yeah!
And after this morning's efforts, he could have been any one of us.
I'm just rolling like any other Kiwi, so I'm sure there was another 4.5 million Kiwis out there doing the same thing as I was.
Here's the thing, though, it's not an isolated incident. That was him in 2011.
That was just a pretty normal reaction, eh? World Cup, yeah, I think there's a bit of an edge there to it, but that's just how I roll. That's my passion.
But fans around the world today have been in full swing celebrating. In Brooklyn, New York, it was electric. And check out this impromptu haka on the streets of New Orleans. Yep, Kiwi pride has gone global. We've even picked up some famous fans along the way. Richard Branson showed his true colours, cheering on the All Blacks. One Direction's Niall Horan posted this point of view shot to Instagram. And look at that, Hollywood superstar Kevin Costner donning the number 7 jersey. But as this Australian reporter found out during a live cross this morning,
they've broken a world record twice.
There's no celebration like a home soil celebration. Matt McLean, One News.
Well, George Berry's at one of those home soil celebrations right now in Richie McCaw country, Kurau. George.
Yes, good evening. Well, the party's certainly continuing here in McCaw country, but it's kind of weird to think that in 4 or maybe even 8 years' time we could be at another rural rugby club somewhere else in New Zealand celebrating the then captain of the All Blacks. But for now, it's Kurau's opportunity to celebrate their local lad, Richie McCaw.
Okay, it's going to work.
The Rugby World Cup is coming home.
Always happy the cup's coming home to Korea. We knew it would.
Oh, it's just ecstatic. Yeah, it's just great. Yeah, we've pulled it off once again. Yeah, Richie and the boys have done a bloody good job.
Today, the first job for these Koorau locals was to roll out the final piece of their tribute to their beloved Richie McCaw.
But if you hear at 5 o'clock when the sun's going down, it does create a halo around his head.
All very proud of him, and you can tell by what the town's doing for him.
Earlier this morning, there was only one place in town to be, Richie's old local, packed from wall to wall. If you arrived late, you were hard-pressed to even find a seat. Although seats were hardly needed, when McCaw delivered the final pass to the All Blacks' opening try. Things got a little tense in the second half when the Wallabies inched closer.
A bit worried, but yeah, we might pull through in the end.
I thought we would win, but times I just couldn't look.
But as it became apparent, their boy McCaw would add another cup to his collection. The champagne began to flow.
I reckon that's bloody top-notch there, actually. Bloody well, good game.
Yes, you could probably pick almost any headline, but today in Koorau, this rings pretty true. Yes, so no doubt over the coming weeks, debate will rage on whether Richie McCaw should become Sir Richie McCaw. But I've got an idea for you. I think he should take it. It'd be a fantastic idea given how much of a love of aviation he also has. Maybe one day you'd hop on an Air New Zealand flight and have come across the loudspeaker. Good evening, passengers. This is your captain speaking, Sir Richie McCaw. Bernie.
Captain McCaw got a bit of a ring to it. Thanks, George Berry and Koorau, McCaw country. Now we head back to Twickenham where Andrew Saville joins us with Sport. Sav.
Yes, Bernie, we'll have more on this quite extraordinary final after the break for you as we unpick the pattern to the All Blacks' early morning victory over the Wallabies.
We love you, Richie!
Speaking of Richie, will we see another one like him again? Time to pull out some vintage McCaw. And we take a look back at the World Cup you won't see anywhere else. Welcome back to Twickenham, now the scene of one of New Zealand sport's greatest ever triumphs. Well, even when the All Blacks are at their unpredictable best, there's a certain predictability about the way they close out big matches. Their 3 tries today perfectly illustrating the pattern they've used match after match to break down the toughest of oppositions. Here's Stephen Stewart.
There had only been 7 tries in the last 6 World Cup finals, but sustained pressure, quick hands and slick switches finally opened the vaunted Wallabies defence out wide. It was to prove Conrad Smith's last touch in his 94th and final test. From Smith's teamwork personified to the personalised precision his second half replacement brought, Sonny Bill Williams, the magnet, drawing in 3 Wallabies and freeing up midfield partner Ma'anonu. Still plenty of pep in those 103 test legs. It was just Williams' second touch in his 2 minutes on the field as the All Blacks proved the old adage true, strike just before and after half-time.
I just wanted to go out there and do what I've been doing all tournament, just have a go and back myself and, you know, thank God that came off. But, you know, it probably wasn't as special as the run, you know, and that's Ma, you know, he's just a special talent.
The relentless defence, even when they had the match won, unleashed the whippet-like Bowden Barrett, also burning the Wallabies from long range for the 3rd try, equalling the All Blacks' own record of 3 in a final, set way back in 1987.
It was the best final ever, yeah, and you'd have to say almost the quality of the rugby throughout the tournament, probably the best World Cup in terms of quality of rugby on the field.
Pressure, pizzazz, points, a pattern used by the All Blacks again and again, and today they did it on the biggest stage. Stephen Stewart, One News.
Well, there's been no official word yet, but the career of our most decorated All Black is almost certainly over. Richie McCaw has been a mainstay of New Zealand rugby for 14 long years. Let's take a look back at the skipper's stellar career.
From chubby-cheeked 20-year-old in 2001 to a battle-hardened warrior, Richie McCaw's superhuman standards never slipped over 148 remarkable tests.
It's all been about what we do from the time the whistle goes to the time the last one goes, and we do that right and play our best. or we give ourselves an opportunity.
It's that no-nonsense attitude that shot McCaw to prominence in his first full season in black, taking out Springbok streaker Peter van Zyl. Then in 2003 came his first World Cup disappointment at the hands of you-know-who. McCaw then helped build a dominant era of All Blacks rugby. A Lions Series win and a Grand Slam in 2005.
Howard again, and another one for Doug Howard.
Elevation to captaincy and another Tri-Nations title in 06, earning him the first of 3 World Player of the Year awards.
Oh, what a performance by McCaw.
You can't play better than that. I thought he was outstanding.
But McCaw's lowest ebb was to come just a year later, a French flop in Cardiff, and yet another early World Cup exit.
You know, big matches is where you got to play. Everyone's got to stand up, and perhaps as a team today, we were a second best team.
Dogged by accusations of cheating by foreign media throughout his career, it was a long road to redemption for McCaw. What better way to answer the critics than finally holding the Webb Ellis Cup aloft in 2011, breaking the All Blacks World Cup hoodoo with a broken foot.
He copped a lot of flack in 07. He's grown from that. He showed through that adversity to come back, and he's now probably one of the great leaders of all time.
The most capped player, the most successful captain, one of the most respected figures of all time. Surely there's only one more accolade to bestow upon him. Sir Richie McCaw. So what about All Blacks coach Steve Hansen? He looked pensive ahead of the big game, but has revealed his humour repeatedly throughout it. His approach has clearly helped shape the team and its public perception.
I think there's a lot of people have realised that, you know, we're not the big bag ogres that sometimes we're printed to be in the media. You know, we're actually just ordinary people who can play rugby reasonably well, and you know, life's too short not to have fun either. You know, like if you're serious all the time, it can be, you know, it's pretty boring. And I can be called boring without being serious.
Hansen has signed through to 2017, but is widely tipped now to take the team to the next World Cup tournament in Japan, all things going well. Well, they do say everything top as Steve Hansen has showed throughout this tournament. That said, there was so much pressure and expectation placed on the men on the field with history beckoning in this game. But despite the stress and tension, they delivered. Jenny May Coffin has the reaction.
The Webb Ellis Trophy in hand and history made. Let the celebrations begin.
It doesn't feel real at the moment. It feels a bit of a dream, and I guess over the next few days it'll sink in.
The boy from Taihape still pinching himself at what's been for him personally a remarkable World Cup.
It's been awesome, you know. As you spoke of Dan, he's been a childhood hero for me. I used to, you know, sit back and watch him on the TV alongside a few of the other boys that are in the team tonight. So, yeah, it's been a pretty cool ride, mate, and I'm just loving every minute of it.
And that ride is about to end for Ma'a Nonu, the often polarising player who signs off after one of his best performances in the black jersey at a World Cup.
It hasn't been an easy road, but had some good backing by the coaches, good support at home from my family, and good bunch of guys. Take home the memories in terms of, you know, who I played with. The likes of Richie McCaw, Dan Carter, and especially my midfield partner Conrad. You know, probably won't play with those guys again, so it's something I'll cherish forever.
Kieran Reid almost missed most of the match. An ankle injury in the 6th minute saw him crumple to the ground.
It's the World Cup final, adrenaline takes over, and you know, it's a bit sore now, but you know, it was great to be a part of it. You know, I've got all summer to look after it, so no worries there.
Reid also has no worries about the All Blacks' future, despite the departure of 6 of the best.
All Blacks will continue to roll on. You know, you can't rest on what's been done in the past. We'll really enjoy this moment and enjoy the next couple of months.
And they'll no doubt be enjoying the $150,000 bonus. Jenny May Coffin, One News.
Let's take a look at some of the key stats that helped propel the All Blacks to their 3rd World Cup title then. He didn't get over the line today, but Julian Savea finished top try scorer for the Cup. Just as impressively, Nehi Milner-Skudder finishing 2nd overall. He tops the charts in metres made for the tournament. And his ability to break the first tackle also puts him top with clean breaks made. No one surpassed Brodie Retallick, meantime, for line-out steals. And what about offloads? So crucial to the All Blacks' success. Yes, SBW ahead
of all others there. Well, what about the tournament itself? For All Blacks fans, the last 3 playoff matches delivered every emotion, didn't it? You could hope for from top-level rugby, all that emotion. But we weren't that roller coaster. Here's Abby Scott with World Cup 2015 through another lens.
You could say England had rather large expectations going into their World Cup. But giant slaying was on the menu from very early. A flying Kiwi helping Japan beat South Africa. England's attempt to rally the troops fell flat. And then the team fell flat against Wales. It even divided the Royals, the Welsh with a special song for their neighbours. Welsh kicker Dan Biggar definitely looks like he has something stuck somewhere, or at least ants in his pants. The English chariot would shortly be shoved right out of the World Cup. Social media taking great delight in England's failure to make it out of pool play, the first host nation to claim the honour. The All Blacks pretty that wasn't them. Their early performances overshadowed by Steve Hanson's way with words.
You're choking me up. Apart from the Rainbow Warrior, we've probably been paged most of the time. So. You got more up your sleeve? Just my arm.
When Julian Savia wasn't wearing his clothing in strange ways, he was earning comparisons to John. A controversial decision that cost Scotland a semi-final saw referee Craig Joubert receiving not such complimentary comparisons.
At the end of the game, he ran down the tunnel like a scared rabbit because he made a
day that started early for many of us. It'll surely be sweet dreams tonight. Let's go back to Peter Williams for some final words.
And that is just about it here on One News tonight, as we have reflected on what's been a very special day for New Zealand. The most successful professional sports team ever has claimed the glittering prize in quite emphatic fashion. Well, it's been fun being here for the final stages of this Rugby World Cup, but I'll leave the last word to a man who's seen this wonderful campaign up close right from the start. Andrew Saville.
Thanks very much, Peter. Yes, it's been one heck of a ride, hasn't it, the past 7 weeks, from pool play to that French drubbing in the quarters, the South Africa cliffhanger in the semis, to that remarkable final here just hours ago at Twickenham. This All Blacks team has certainly earned the right to be labelled as great. The first side to win back-to-back World Cups with a new game of power and pace that has simply astonished in these parts. What's also impressed me is the humility they've shown towards the game of rugby, their fans, their opponents, and that is led by the coach and captain of the squad. Some of us are privileged to see up close how hard this team works to be the best, the immense pride the players take in wearing black and wearing the hopes of a small, very proud nation. It was so apt. The cup-winning final performance was the last hurrah for 6 very special players. 2 of the greatest of all time, Richie McCaw and Dan Carter. Here's 2 men who epitomise what it means to be an All Black and a World Cup winner. We'll see you back home very soon, back with our families and back in the warmth. We do hope you got some bliss today.